So most teams don't struggle with wanting to do accessibility, but rather they're struggling with time, effort, and expertise required to actually do consistent and quality testing at scale. Now, accessibility testing typically breaks down because of one of the following reasons. It's time intensive, requires repetitive manual work, and that's true for simple accessibility tasks, which pulls accessibility experts away from other high value priorities. Even tools that immensely improve efficiency, like our traditional intelligent guided tests, still require some manual input, and that can impact adoption. When your adoption drops, customers are not realizing the full ROI of their investment. Now, there isn't enough time or bandwidth to keep up with demand for accessibility testing at scale. Accessibility is hard to systematize when developers are asked to allocate significant effort towards testing for accessibility to their already full workloads. And lastly, expertise and knowledge constraints really impact speed and confidence in completing testing. And that limits the people who can get involved to help move things forward at scale. Now, what we've built with our browser extension is designed to remove these barriers without removing human control. So we start by automating the work that slows teams down the most, focusing on the most frequent and most impactful problems that teams see every day with a commitment to zero false positives. From there, teams can test entire user flows where the document object model changes are tracked automatically and issues are deduplicated so teams aren't fixing the same thing repeatedly. Now, with this baseline of automated coverage, QA spends less time managing noise, developers start to trust what they're seeing, and accessibility stops feeling like an extra layer of work. But even here, we saw a limit. Even efficient workflows can struggle if they ask too much of people. So this is why we introduced our intelligent guided tests. With the addition of intelligent guided tests, we're able to further streamline testing, saving a ton of time and resources using machine learning to systematically guide users through more complex issues and highlighting areas that need their attention. So let's take keyboard accessibility tests, for example. Manually, it can take sometimes 30 to 45 minutes to tab through every tab stop, record issues, and complete all of the success criteria required to meet compliance. IGTs already improve that, automatically tabbing and logging to get the test down to 2 or 3 minutes. This is a huge improvement. However, while IGTs have immensely helped many teams create efficiencies and improve their accessibility testing strategies, we actually do recognize that even a few minutes of manual effort can still be a barrier to continued use of the tools by developers, and can still require a level of accessibility knowledge that maybe not everybody is confident in. So that's where our automated IGTs come in. With these automated IGTs, we're removing the remaining manual interaction. AI is automatically answering the guided tests questions for you, and you review the inputs and the outputs. So the manual input is no longer a blocker, while we still keep your team in control of the final results. Now, a test that once took minutes now runs in seconds. Not only are the time savings impactful, but it also helps streamline developers' workflows so they're more likely to incorporate the tools in their sprints, and it opens up the floor for more people to run routine tests regardless of the accessibility knowledge, since AI is providing guidance, helping scale accessibility across an organization. Now we're launching this starting with a test for interactive elements, and we're actively automating more IGTs because every step we're removing makes it easier to test earlier in the SDLC and really makes that easier to scale across teams. It's important to note that increased automation only helps if teams trust the results. This is where advanced automated rules come in. For example, traditional automation with Xcore can tell you whether or not alternative text exists for an image, but it can't really tell you if the alternative text is adequate for that image. Now, uh, with the addition of AI, we can get the additional contextual understanding, and we can ensure the results are as relevant and as meaningful as possible. And that is how we build our advanced rules. In previous versions of the tool, it required manual testing or IGTs to perform certain testing. Now, while we're starting with these 4 specific rules, mainly heading lacking semantics, presence of focus indicators, multicolored text contrast, and incorrect informative images, we are continuing to add more and expand what we can fully automate and increase that automated coverage further. So what we'd like to do is streamline and scale the way that teams are testing for accessibility. When accessibility becomes easier and faster to do, it actually gets done. In practice, what this means is faster adoption for accessibility testing tools because friction is removed, more developers participating regardless of expertise, and more issues found earlier, saving time and money in the long run. Accessibility stops becoming a bottleneck and starts becoming part of the normal development flow. By automating the time-intensive, repetitive work, simplifying the process, and expanding trustworthy automation, teams can further realize the ROI of accessibility by incorporating it even earlier in their SDLC across more people and at a pace that matches modern development workflows. Thanks for watching.